President Trump says that he has chosen former Federal Reserve official Kevin Warsh to head the central bank. Warsh will be replacing Jerome Powell when his term ends in May. And Trump has been criticized for trying to pressure Powell into reducing interest rates. Federal prosecutors have opened a criminal investigation into Powell over the Fed's $2.5 billion renovation of its headquarters. Powell said that the investigation is a pretext to destroy the Fed's independence. So let's take a look at Trump's pick for the job. Kevin Warsh has been a critic of the Fed's decisions during his time as vice president of Morgan Stanley Bank. As a governor of the Fed from 2007 until 2011, Warsh favored higher interest rates as he expressed worries about inflation. But last year, Trump claimed that Warsh backed lower interest rates as the White House criticized Jerome Powell for keeping interest rates high. Warsh is part of President Trump's inner circle through his influential father-in-law, Ronald Lauder, who is a Trump donor. Well, Harry Broadman joins us now. Harry's the former chief of staff of the President's Council of Economic Advisors. Harry, you're joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you for your time. Kevin Warsh, your thoughts?
I think he's a fine choice, certainly among the other candidates that Mr. Trump was looking at. He's a cool, calm demeanor, thoughtful person. I think obviously the real question is how will he conduct himself once he is installed? That's always the question there.
And do we have any, I mean, if you look, and I realize it's a crystal ball at this point, we can't actually know the answer, but we know Donald Trump wants one thing, right? He wants lower interest rates. He has been saying it over and over and over again, and he has been beating Jerome Powell over the head with that stick. One assumes that if he picks Kevin Warsh, that means he feels that Mr. Warsh will lower interest rates, no?
I suspect that that's the way that Mr. Trump feels, I think. But, Kevin is a professional. He's also gone on record as being very concerned about inflation over the years during his previous term on the Fed and since at Hoover at Stanford. So I think he's a very credible person. It's always the case, frankly, when someone is running for a job, so to speak, that they may say things that are appealing to the person who is interviewing him or her. Once they get in, I think that's probably another story. I think he's a very serious guy, and I think he will worry about his reputation and does not want to be seen as a puppet of any president, regardless of who the president is, in terms of determining what the Fed does.
All right. This is very interesting what you're telling us. It was going to be my next question. You're kind of hinting at the fact that when you're in discussions with the president and you're thinking he may pick me as the next chair of the Federal Reserve, maybe you say things he wants to hear. And then when you're in the job, it's a different matter?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it quite as stark as that, but I think this is a human condition. I think obviously you say things that are going to be appealing to the person who is interviewing you, but at the same time you have to balance what your reputation is and your credibility, because there's probably no more important single asset as the chair of the Federal Reserve Board to have credibility. And I think that Kevin calls things as he sees them. We'll wait and see. No one wants inflation, and even Mr. Trump has gone on record over the years as being careful about energizing too much inflation in the U.S. economy. So I think with Mr. Warsh at the top, I think cooler heads will prevail. The rest of the Fed board is composed of very serious, for the most part, other governors.
I was saying just before coming to you that Warsh is a member of Trump's inner circle, partly because his father, not just influential, but he is a donor to Mr. Trump. Should we have any concerns there about the independence?
It's not his father; it's his father-in-law.
His father-in-law. Beg your pardon.
That's okay. That's okay. Washington is an interesting place, as you know, and certainly as I know, having been working here for, too many decades, I don't want to admit. But, you do say things that, are appealing to the person who's hiring you. Yes, his father-in-law has a relationship with Mr. Trump. But I think in the end, Kevin will want to preserve his most important asset, which is credibility. And once that credibility is gone by anybody, their asset just shrinks in terms of value. So I suspect that will be uppermost in his mind as he runs the board.
Harry Broadman, former chief of staff of the President's Council of Economic Advisors. Thank you for joining us on Al Jazeera.
My pleasure. Thank you.